My name is Shannon McMacken, and I am a teacher, AP Literature and Composition, Speech, and Teacher Pathway 2. I'm also the head coach of the oral interpretation team.
Aw, my little girl has grown up so fast.
Yeah, Grandpa, look, she's even in the newspaper for her poem. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Give it up for my sister, Teonna Randle.
Teonna, I heard about her through students in her freshman year as they had been watching the talent show, and she was doing her slam poetry that she brought with her from her 8th grade poetry slam. And I went to the talent show and saw her and started heavily recruiting her, and she became part of our inaugural team and continues to forge into the national rankings. And so that's how I first met her, is through our talent show and the poetry slam.
My name's Teonna Randle. I'm a junior at Jefferson High School. I'm taking forensics, modern U.S. history, economics, AP Lang, speech, and Spanish 4. I am in BSU, Women Empowerment. I'm co-captain of the speech team. I was in student council, did principal advisory council, activities leadership council. This summer, I got accepted into the Brown University pre-college program. I'll be going there for 3 weeks. And then I also got accepted into the Wake Forest University pre-college program. And then I will be going to the National Speech and Debate competition as well. I applied for Brown just through their website. I didn't think I'd get in, obviously, but I just thought, what the heck, why not? But yeah, I got accepted after submitting some of the writing that I've done, and same with the Wake Forest as well. And then they offered me scholarships to go, so I'm going.
Well, she hit the ground running immediately. She has such a powerful voice and such powerful thoughts. She's an excellent writer, and oral interp is more interpretation of other people's works, but she's been able to use her spoken word skills at certain competitions in the national rounds. Her success has been just trailblazing. Every year at nationals, she's qualified all 3 years, and last year she was in the top 30 in the nation. She's also qualified. We leave this week for the National Individual Events Tournament of Champions, and she's qualified for that. And then she will go back again for the NSDA Nationals, and we expect high performance from her because she expects that from herself. What I just love the story that her success really is rooted in that 8th grade poetry slam. So she's a Sioux Falls School District success connection story. It's also led her to last year. She was able to win the Walgreens Expressions with her spoken word, which resulted in scholarship money as well as national recognition. She was first place in poetry, spoken word, for the whole nation in this national competition. She also won a chance to go to the New York Times last summer in the creative writing program at the New York Times, and got to spend weeks in New York just writing and thinking and communicating. And then this year she's won the opportunity to go to Brown University for their creative writing, full expenses paid, and she just continues to just soar. So we're really excited for everything she has in store for her and everything she's accomplished.
I do mainly poetry. Poetry is how I started off. After last summer, I went to the School of New York Times to study. I found that I actually really liked narrative essay writing as well, so I've been dabbling in that a little bit. Poetry and essays, I mainly get a lot of my inspiration from like political events, current world events. So I know my first poem that I ever did for the Poetry Slam was Two Worlds, and that was derived from the Black Lives Matter movement happening at that time. But I also like to pull from my personal experiences because I know I'm not like the only person who's experienced things in my life, so I like to talk about that. I always like to say that I like to voice in my writing. I like to be a voice for the voiceless, if that makes sense. Definitely. It definitely launched my entire writing career.
So this summer she'll be going to compete nationally for speech and debate with her poetry and program oral interpretation. And then she comes back and I think has one night, goes to her Brown University program, and she may have to fly from Brown to Wake Forest, but all because of her writing and her speaking abilities and her ability to advocate for herself. So her voice is mature beyond her years, and it's really brought her a lot of opportunities, and she's only a junior, so I can't imagine what she's got waiting for her as a senior and then beyond.
After I got done performing, when the Poetry Slam was all wrapped up, I remember a lot of people came up to me, they were like, Teonna, that was so great, that was so powerful, that was moving. And I remembered I really loved hearing those reactions, and I loved having discussions afterwards about political things and just hearing different perspectives of different issues. But I do remember one specific event, Mr. Stolp, he was my basketball coach I think like in 7th grade, and he found me in the hallway after and he said, Teonna, you should really pursue like this writing thing. Maybe you should try like oral interpretation, which is what I do now.
I think she arrived as a natural leader, so she's been on the athletics department and activities department advisory council. She's been our representative. She's co-captain of our oral interp speech team, and she really is good about, she's a leader amongst her peers, and they respect her. Definitely Black Student Union, women's empowerment, and she was on student council. Her speaking engagements and all of that take up the majority of her time because it takes a lot of tenacity and discipline to continue to prepare for that. But I think her peers look to her as a foundational leader, and she has a great way of communicating with them and lifting people up.
I did do the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards. I've gotten 3 of the gold keys for every year that I've submitted. And that's a pretty big deal because it means you're 1 in 5 in every like district region, so in the South Dakota region. And that's how I got the full scholarship to go to the school in New York Times. But I also won the Expressions Challenge sponsored through Walgreens. I won $2,000 cash for submitting my 2 Worlds piece. That was awesome. My 8th grade English teacher, Mrs. Fries, she definitely helped me. She pushed me to go do it, towards it. Mr. Stolp, obviously, he encouraged me to do speech, and yeah, I've been doing really good with speech as well. I remember the spoken word supplemental competition, I believe it was my freshman year. I got top 30 in the nation with the 2 Worlds piece. And Mrs. McMacken, she's amazing. She's the AP Lit and Comp teacher, also the speech coach. Dolly, obviously, everyone knows Dolly, but those are just some of the teachers that I can think of at the top of my head that's really helped me.
Teonna just has really used and empowered herself to be an advocate for herself, using her voice to make a difference, and she'll continue to do that as she pursues higher education.
My dream university is Brown, so that was amazing when I got accepted into the pre-college program. But I've been leaning towards a career in writing. I know that's not necessarily the most stable job, but it's what I love to do. It's what I found that I'm pretty good at, so that's the goal.
I think we'll see her on the national publishing trail, and she'll look back and hopefully remember all of us as she's winning her Nobel Peace Prize with her writing and her voice to make a difference and make this world a better place.
And we are climbing up that equality ladder, while putting that fact in your head on the way, that Black lives will always matter.